There are many very special things about the First Unitarian Church of Philadelphia. First is the fact that we embrace religious pluralism and recognize that wisdom comes from many different times and places and many different people. We draw wisdom from all the different traditions throughout time. Another thing that makes our congregation special is the diversity of views within the membership. So, for example, when you're sitting in a pew on a Sunday morning, you might be sitting next to somebody who was raised Christian or Jewish, for example, and might still draw upon those teachings, but are very interested in other forms of knowledge. You could be sitting next to somebody who is a humanist, for example, who might be agnostic to ideas about theism, but who really believe in an ethical search for truth and meaning. And so in one setting, we might draw upon Buddhist meditation or Jewish or Christian prayer, or we might draw upon any of the sacred world religions in our ethical and our theological and our philosophical pursuit for truth and meaning.
What religion were you brought up in?
I was raised a Presbyterian.
Quaker.
Methodist.
How about none?
Okay.
I was sort of brought up Presbyterian. My mother actually was a disaffected Catholic.
I was raised Catholic.
And my father was a North Wisconsin woodsman, so he really was more of he understood God as being in the woods and around, but he didn't go to church at all.
I was not raised religious.
I grew up in the Presbyterian Church in Lancaster, as did my mother and my grandmother, and my great-grandmother.
He went first to the Methodist Church.
I was raised Catholic.
And then I went to the United Church of Christ because that was in our neighborhood, and that's where all my friends went.
I was brought up in England, and it was called the Church of England.
I went to a Lutheran college, so I used to go to the Lutheran church.
I was raised in the United Methodist Church.
And then I finally became a Unitarian.
Why did you leave that faith?
I left because I couldn't understand what they were trying to tell us about all the creeds and Methodism, and it didn't make a lot of sense to me.
I went to church till I was in high school, probably, and then I stopped going to church because I didn't like to go, actually.
When I was in 9th grade, the Sunday school teacher, who was the minister's wife, said in a class that the Bible is the only book through which God speaks to us, and I already knew that she was wrong. I knew that I found messages from God in all sorts of books that I read and in nature.
I was always afraid of being punished or doing something wrong, and I thought God was frightening to me. I was afraid when I went to church.
It was never a good fit for me. I asked way too many questions, and I just felt it was too much about the institution of the church and not enough about religious feeling. Not to mention I kind of stopped believing in God, but not religion.
Some of the beliefs of mainline Christianity just weren't, I don't know if adequate's quite the word.
Actually, I am still an Episcopalian. At the same time, I'm a Unitarian.
I married a Unitarian.
I'm also a Franciscan. I've taken vows.
I had a full Christian background and was very comfortable with that for a long time. As I became older and I couldn't quite buy it all, then I started wondering about what I was.
I really liked the idea that everyone is on their own path to find truth, and that we're all helping each other to do that.
Part of the reason I joined a church was, frankly, for social reasons.
I really believe in the 7 principles.
Because there is no dogma, the ministers or the people that do the services, will touch on many things, and they will bring into the service many other religions. Like there will be readings from the Koran, there will be Buddhism that's brought into the service. Every once in a while, they bring Christianity into the service. That's a joke, son.
My grandmother, the one who left the Catholic Church, she introduced me to Unitarian Universalism when I was 15, because I had just come out of the closet, and she said, "I hear that there's some lesbian up at the Unitarian Church."
And I feel that before you say you believe in something, you need to think about it and make a decision.
I felt at home here. I felt that I could be me.
Tell us about your spiritual beliefs.
All right. I don't know if I like the word spiritual.
This is a hard one.
I'm a humanist.
If you had to put a label on me, I would say I'm a Gnostic Christian.
You're going to love this one. I'm an animist. Do you have any idea what that means?
My spiritual beliefs are kind of rooted in Buddhism. I was ordained in the Buddhist tradition by Thich Nhat Hanh.
I guess deep down, I believe in the power of belief.
I believe everything, including inanimate objects, but you and I, animals, all have souls.
I dismissed the idea of God a while ago, but I've been getting into Buddhism, and I'm really into their emphasis on impermanence, because I don't think it's good for something to just stay at one place and not change, because then it becomes stagnant.
I don't believe that God would condemn those that he creates.
I believe we are all part of a huge universe that's even bigger than we can ever think about.
So when I came to the Unitarian Church, I would say I was more of a humanist. But I actually have, over the years, have discovered that I think I'm way more than a theist, and I really am very God-believing.
Do you believe in God?
If by God a greater power, yes, but not God in a long robe and a white beard.
And I've really only dismissed the theistic definition of God. I mean, if we want to put a new definition to God, I'm all open to that.
What I believe in is some kind of spirit in the universe. I don't think it's supernatural.
When it's absolutely the most glorious, gorgeous day, for some reason there is a sense that there is a God.
I think nature is really a good indicator that we're not the ones in charge.
I believe that God is all-embracing and loving, not only of human beings, but of the entire creation.
I believe that there is some undefinable force out there that created the world, the universe, or the multiple universes out there.
I believe that each human being, each physical thing like trees and animals and lakes are one aspect of God.
I find God most often in community and working in the people around me. I can kind of feel the Spirit of God moving in all of us.
I do believe in God, but not one with a will. Meaning, I don't believe God has an ego. I don't believe God is jealous or envious or doubtful or vengeful or wrathful, or God doesn't choose you and not me, or God doesn't destroy this people or this land and preserve this.
I look to God, actually, for compassion, for strength, for courage.
Is coming to church a spiritual experience for you?
Yeah, I think so. I really get recharged.
Frankly, I think that singing in the choir is more of a spiritual experience for me than simply coming to church.
Boost up my happy level.
I was in Michigan on September 11th, and I knew that I had to get back to Philadelphia because I had to be here. I had to be home.
I come because it's a community, and I think people who come here are fantastic, and I feel very much at home here.
One of the challenges about religion in the world today is that many religious traditions claim absolute truth. meaning that they are the religious tradition that is right and is dedicated to using all of their resources in order to persuade others of their truths. One of the great strengths of Unitarian Universalism is we do not assume that we have absolute knowledge or absolute understanding or truth about the great questions of our time, but rather we honor and respect many different truths and incorporate those ideas into our understanding and into all of our relationships.